and
that doesn't always work, but yeah.
No. But
So I have done this in the past. So long time ago, I can still remember. Okay.
demonetized.
Yeah. Before I was a part of Zulu, I ran an op at Zulu. And gosh, I can't remember the name of it. But IEDs were involved. And you could disarm the IEDs. And when I mean IEDs, I mean I bought the same pyro we used for Benghazi to the mortar attack, those, right? So it was like those.
One of those went off right next to me at Benghazi.
Yeah, because I threw it down. I was like, oh shit, Jordan.
It went on, Dave.
What's up? I didn't see you down there, dude. You all right? Yeah, I'm good. It was cool as fuck.
Just reaches his head over. He was like, "You alive?"
Yeah. Get the footage? No.
you got fucked up at Benghazi, dude. Your hand got melted on your blank fire scar.
Yeah, my hand got
blown up.
melted. And Dave set off a fucking pyrotechnic mortar right next to me by accident.
You were fine.
Jordan has flashbacks.
Only to how cool that was, because all of that was fucking dope. I burned my hand because Tyler and Connor can remember this one. I was standing there at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I was just like, do I bring it? Do I not? And they're like, what do you got to do? And I was like, I got to go take a shit. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, do I bring my gun? And they're like, bring your fucking gun. I walk outside and I look and I'm like, why is everybody at the checkpoint dead? Oh, that's Op 4 in the compound. Just do a fucking rip with blank fire. I was like, all right, everybody's up now. I'm going to go poop. And I come back and they're still in that gunfight. So I dumped like 3 or 4 mags and then I fucking fell. And I wasn't wearing my gloves because I just taken a poop. And scar barrel sliced my hand.
Got him.
Yeah.
So for that game, there were IEDs. And so as a part of that game, there was EOD, right? And these were players. But before the event had started, I did like a training with them. And I literally told them, I was like, look, these will explode. Like this is like, you don't want to fuck around with this. This is real. Okay. For all intents and purposes, it probably wouldn't hurt them, but for all intents and purposes, this is real. And I showed them how to safely disarm it, right? By following the wire and removing the power source and then doing the other things, right? So their first step was basically cutting all power to it. And that basically made it inert. And it worked okay. The only issue we had is that it was a severe drought. And this is at the old field.
Right.
Severe drought. I think we were using bottle rockets
Holy shit.
as RPGs. There's a video somewhere of Mario holding an RPG that I built and then somebody lighting a bottle rocket. That part looks lame, but when it comes out and goes, it's awesome. So anyway,
I do not have that video.
it's somewhere. I maybe it's on my Facebook page. I have to scroll back in time. But so that game had a lunch break. And there was a food truck, I think, back then. And we were all at the food truck. And then somebody looked over. Everybody's off the field. Somebody looked over and was just like, man, that's a lot of smoke. And I was like, oh, somebody threw a smoke grenade out there. And I was looking. I was like, that's a lot of smoke. And we start walking. Did you ever play at the old field?
Yeah.
Okay. We start walking through CQB. And I get towards the end of CQB. And there's a freaking like forest fire happening. We're like, oh, shit. and everybody like...
Grab your e-tools, kids.
No. We had those big 55-gallon drums.
Yeah.
And they were just full of rainwater because we've been there for 5 years.
Yeah.
And so, dude, we were like rolling them and like, and I'm watching because right now it's just all like the leaves and shit on the ground. But it's like, it is an alarmingly large fire that we're like, in 5 minutes, I need to call like fire department. And I'm watching the fire creep up this tree. And I'm like, oh God, like, here we go. And so like 15, 25 people just like, picking up 4 or 5 people picking up the 55-gallon drums and just dumping it out on this, and we put it out. And then after that, I was like, "Whoa, not cool, fam."
Whoa.
I had never heard that story.
Yeah, we almost burned down all of Tolman Road. Like it was, dude, it was. And you know what's funny is the day prior, I was out testing the IEDs, right? And I wasn't like, because we had them in. Like coffee, like the metal coffee containers, right? Because we wanted to kind of contain it. And also I wanted the effect to go up and not out. You know?
Or create shrapnel. Go on.
Yeah. Right. So, but when I was testing it, I just threw it on the ground
You made a boom too, right?
Oh, do you remember for Benghazi at night when you guys fired the mortars at us?
Yeah.
The effect on
Yeah.
our end?
Yeah.
That's what I was using.
Gotcha.
So
What if you buried those? Okay, go on.
So I set one off and it wasn't in a coffee can. So all the sparks and everything just did a 360 degree fucking, and there was a ring of fire. And it was me and I think one of my buddies was out there, and we were like, oh, fuck. like we made a fire break. So we let it all burn, but we just made a fire break around it. Because like we're not going to be able to go around and put it out fast enough. So we basically just raked it all up into a pile and burned. And that's when I was like, ooh, it's real dry. Like, so that entire event, I was eagle-eyeing everything. And I think it was one of Mario's bottle rockets that started that fire. It was so dry. It was such a dumb
good safe prop if you want like a firebomb. When we filmed, when my band filmed our music video here, the guys that were doing the film production, Pop Films, they came up with this cool idea. They saw it online, and it's really safe. You take paper, duct tape, and you get like black powder, like gunpowder. And you take like the remote starter for like a bottle rocket. And what you do is you make this little charge and you just bury it under dirt, just dirt. Make sure all the rocks are clear out of the way.
Yeah.
Right. But there's really, even if there were rocks, there'd be nothing really containing it. It just makes a fireball pop up and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
And just from a distance, you could set it off. And we did that. And I was like right next to it. I was the one setting it off in the video. I mean, it's pretty cheap and safe and it looks sick.
So I'm not talking.
As long as there's not a drought.
Yeah.
Because it is fire. Like when we did that down by trenches and we weren't expecting the fireball to go up so high. And I genuinely thought we were going to start burning down trees when we set it off. But
well, I'm thinking from a VFX standpoint, but two, from a gameplay aspect, that would also be cool for an event. If we could figure out, remove the fire aspect. Because, some explosions they hit, they're not a big fireball. It's more of like you see the debris flying and like the concussive force of it, maybe a little bit of smoke. Like something like that, a little more buried and like directionally straight up. So it almost looks like an impact on the ground as opposed to a fireball. That could be cool for simulating fire or having some kind of charge go off so that players just get the atmospheric effect.
Like a set event.
Yeah. Or it's like, hey, like
even for a door charge, right? Like you could rig something up where the player takes an inert device, puts it on the door, they retreat to a safe distance, and then the staff sets off this effect.
Yeah.
And that's like the door being breached. But
you could also take like white Play-Doh and then you could put some type of like simple little pyro charge in it. So it looks like C4. Like you just stick the Play-Doh to something. It's not C4.
Yeah.
No.
You eat the Play-Doh.
That's kind of like with Dylan and I, because like we were trying to figure out bomb props. And you've heard us talk about this already. Yeah. The bomb we have is really cool. It's really intricate. We like that we can adjust the time on it. But making it a little bit smaller, making it a little bit more streamlined so it like would be directly for that game.
Yeah.
And Dylan and I were going through, you could buy on Etsy, they already have them printed out, or you could just download it and print it out. The packaging for C4, like the wrap that goes around it.
Oh, yeah.
The brown label. And you could just go to Home Depot and get like clay putty, or you can get like white Play-Doh and you can make a brick and wrap it in that. So then we could put a little timer on it. And like it looks like a C4 charge.
We just have to be careful with how real it looks.
Yeah. Well, so in the terms of, because like when we first talked about it, Dave was like, oh yeah, that's cool, but like it's small. Like part of the pizzazz, if you will, with the bomb prop is that it's so big and cumbersome. Like you have to carry that, like you have to transport it. And we're like, yeah, we could do that. We could just make like 10 or 12 of those bricks so it looks the part, like it's a milsim like thing. And then you can still wire it up to like, hey, you have to hold the arm button for 45 seconds, 90 seconds, however to get it to arm for stuff like that. So then we could make a bomb that looks more on brand and still has those features. It'd be pretty easy. But doing stuff like that, you could do some kind of door charge too.
Well, I'm going to order those IWA door charges.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how those go.
They're trainers, so there's no, but there is,
there's some potential there too.
There's a boom that happens with it.
Well, I'm just thinking for like a video work standpoint for like a promo for an event, that'd be real cool to use.
I think it would be cool to train up a breacher for a specific set piece moment in an event, right?
Yeah.
And somebody who is
trusted
and they're not going to fuck around, right? Because at the end of the day, the IWA door charge it's a trainer,
It's still dangerous.
but it's got a charge in it. Like
Yeah.
it has an effect, right? That would be something really cool for them to experience, for the people providing security to experience, because it's visual and audio. You know, it's not just him cutting a wire or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then whoever breaches afterwards, they're like breaching through the smoke and everything, you know, kind of like the shit we did with Tim up here.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we have some experience with that.
Yeah. His shit was like way dangerous.
I was standing way too close to not be wearing hearing protection.
Yeah, dude, that shit was much different.
But that is cool. And from that whole aspect, I still have that video too. I could put it on screen so they could see it.
Yeah.
There's so much potential there in terms of a gameplay aspect. I don't know. It gets me going. It gets me super excited.
Yeah. There's some cool stuff there. But yeah, I don't know what's going with that.
Yeah.
Oh, that cool.
You want to debate?
I think we've had a debate. I also think we're pushing on 2 hours. Yeah.